Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm County Executive PJ Wendell. Today I'm joined with members of my staff, Tim Card, our Department of Public Facilities Director, Noel Gutman, Emergency Services Coordinator, and with me also is Dana Corwin, Office for Aging Services Director. At this time, we're just going to have a simple weather briefing. Chautauqua County has unique storm that hit the northern part of the county and then the western part this morning. The winds had changed a little bit, pushed the snowfall back down into the southern Chautauqua County area of Jamestown and surrounding areas, Falconer, Lakewood, Bustaya, town of Bustaya, etc. Um, so we have been working diligently, around the clock since the storm began. There was a brief time the city of Dunkirk did ask for assistance from New York State for some plowing assistance to get, so a little bit more plowing on some of the main roads. The county assisted as well. New York State Police was out with their two tracked vehicles on Saturday. We did have a unique human interest story where there was a heart transplant recipient who was on her way to Cleveland and got stuck behind several tractor trailers on Route 5. Made a phone call. State police were able to pick her up. She was then transported to the Jamestown airport where she was flown to Cleveland in all hopes that she is doing well and her health is improving. We're not sure whether the surgery took place. Didn't have much follow up after that. But our crews have been working together. Towns and villages always work together. The county with the cities, municipalities, and the state have always been in constant contact and working well. We haven't had any significant wind events. We haven't had any power outages for the most part. Some of these storms, like have hit in Erie County, in southern Erie County in the past, massive power outages. We haven't seen any of that. We have not been informed of any fatalities from traffic accidents, very minor accidents. There was one yesterday involving a plow and another vehicle that turned out to have minor injuries. We've had several vehicles off the road, tractor trailers, vehicles. Moving forward, what we want to remind everybody is this is winter. We're here. It came to us fast and furious, but we've been a little spoiled maybe in the last couple of years. We haven't had a significant snow event such as this. Like I said, we range anywhere from 6 inches to a foot in some areas to over 4 feet in some of our persistent squall areas in places like Cassadaga in the northern parts of Chautauqua County. So having said that, we just tell everybody to please be cautious. Please listen to any warnings or advisories that are out and take your time. That's really the big piece. At this time, I'm going to turn it over to Tim Card, our Director of Public Facilities, and he will give us some more information as to what's been going on with our plows and other information.
Okay, good afternoon. Thank you, PJ. Yeah, we have been out since Thanksgiving night, I guess, around the clock, 24 hours with our three locations. And when we go out, there's roughly between 20 and 25 plow trucks out there covering the county, again, within a 24-hour period of time. And I guess what I wanted to share is just, again, give yourself extra time when if you're going out, if you need to go out, you know, to travel, okay, and make sure your cars are cleaned off so you can see, your visibility is good, and just prepared to give yourself some extra time because our plow guys are out there, and we don't need cars and vehicles and traffic, stranded or in our way because then that slows us down tremendously. So just be cautious, give us our extra space that the plow drivers need, and again, just give yourself some extra time, be safe, and travel accordingly.
Thanks. At this time, I'd like to also invite Dana Corwin, Office for Aging Services Director, to give us some information on our elderly population.
Good afternoon. Thank you all. We're asking that people check on their elderly relatives and neighbors who may be in need of additional assistance with their safety during the snow and during the cold time. The elderly can be less likely to sense and respond to low temperatures. And believe it or not, 20% of injuries with regards to cold happen in the house, whether that's hypothermia or falls. So we want people to be aware. Problems like diabetes can cause problems with warmth and blood flow. Thyroid problems can cause temperature regulation, and arthritis and things like Parkinson's can make it difficult to dress appropriately for the weather and definitely impact falls. The things that older adults need assistance with, a phone call makes a huge difference, just to let them know that you're thinking of them. Check to see if they have food, water, medication on hand, and that everything is running smoothly in the house. If you're able to do a visit to a neighbor or family member, make sure you can clear the steps or shovel a walkway so that they can see where they're going, and if they need assistance to keep vents and pipes cleared. That is definitely the stuff of our calls this morning, people needing assistance in those areas. So we encourage you to check on your neighbors and your elderly relatives. You also want to confirm that the heat source for the house is functioning and that they're warm, and that their smoke alarms and their carbon monoxide detectors are functioning. Very important. Another thing is, if you have to be outside of the home, please make sure you protect yourself with the appropriate outdoor weather. Lots of loose fitting layers and a water and a snow resistant coat is great. You want to make sure that your outdoor trips are as short as possible, and you want to take frequent breaks if you have to be doing something outside. When checking on your neighbors, look for signs of cold problems and help them along the way. If you need assistance, you're encouraged to call 911 if you see someone developing physical stress, cardiac problems, shortness of breath, or signs of hypothermia. So we want to make sure you're aware of these things. We have a program called New York Connects. And to reach New York Connects, it's 716-753-4582. New York Connects is not an emergency provider or service, but we can give you information and assistance with programs like home delivered meals, like warming centers, and other things that may be useful to you during the cold weather. We also encourage all people, seniors and others, to call New York Connects to get signed up for the automated messaging system. Nowadays, it's very hard to push information out to older adults. So when we have things like canceled home delivered meal routes, we have an automated message system to do that. And you can call New York Connects for that information as well, 716-753-4582. We could really use your help as the extension of the Office for Aging Services, checking on your neighbors. Please give us a call if we can help.
Thank you, Dane. At this time, we're going to turn it over to Office of Emergency Services Director Noel Gutman.
Good afternoon. Weather like this we're experiencing, adds another layer of difficulty to our emergency services responders all across our region. So we ask for some simple things, like if you have a fire hydrant near your house, to clean that fire hydrant out. So God forbid we do have a fire. That's one less thing the firemen will have to try and work for, is maintaining a water supply. Also, touch on a couple of things already said. This time of year with the heating and warmth, want to make sure you have functioning CO detectors. Just yesterday, we had a local fire department respond to a house that had blocked vents, and their CO readings were in the high triple digits. And the residents were transported to medical facilities. One was transported to a hyperbaric chamber for treatment. So it's a very serious concern. It is happening locally, and we want to make sure that all of our residents are safe. And I'll take some simple steps, like making sure that we're using proper heating elements, that they're properly vented, and we're not taking undue chances that way. Also, we touched on the physical strenuous activity of just trying to clear your driveway and pass to and from your house. So be cognizant of the work that's creating for anyone. People of any ages are susceptible to hypothermic conditions and overworking, and know your limits and know when to ask for help. But our emergency responders are out all over the county right now on various calls. Luckily, the calls for service have been nothing too tragic yet as far as accidents and stuff like that. But keep our first responders in our thoughts as how we can help them do their jobs right now. Thank you.
All right, we'll take questions.
I guess you pretty much mentioned that you haven't had a storm like this in a while. How do you always, I guess, get ready for some of the unknown of something like that?
Well, the best part is traveling around the county in the last couple of weeks. Our crews have been on shift since the early part of November, so their equipment was ready. It's been tested. It's been maintained. So that's the best we can do. Knowing with the relationship with our towns and villages and cities as well, they're geared up. They know that once November hits or even December, we're bound for snow. So we just, we get prepared. Again, this is nothing new for us. Just been a little while since we've had something of this magnitude and for this duration of several days. But, our crews have been well prepared. Everybody in Chautauqua County is very well prepared for this. So I think that's helped prevent a lot of what I feel could have been more significant issues down there.
Just speak for you, just basics. You mentioned like the 15, 20 trucks. How many routes, how many types of plow routes do you have? And on average, how long would a plow route take?
On an average, again, we have between 20 and 25 trucks out there at one time, okay, to cover roughly 500 miles of road, okay? And the route takes an average of about 3 hours to 3.5 hours to complete the whole route to get back. So somebody might get up in the morning and say, the plow hasn't been here. Well, the plow was there at 3 o'clock in the morning and it's now 8 o'clock and they'll probably be coming back through real shortly. So again, just be patient. If there is any problems or issues with the highway department, we can be reached at 661-8401. And again, our crews are doing a great job. Okay, they're out there, they're fighting the fight and keeping things open.
And then can you, I guess, move resources wherever based on the type of snow? Because like you mentioned, someone has maybe 6 inches and others 6 feet.
Yeah, if we have to, like over the weekend, the South County wasn't getting that bad. The North County was, and we could shift crews if we had to help out up in the North County if it comes to that.
When it comes to emergency services and vehicles, are there any preparations in place? Because we've been hearing stories where ambulances are getting stuck on the side of the road. Do you have anything in mind to help avoid similar situations?
Our emergency services, vehicles, are really limited by what they can drive in, obviously. That's where we rely on our municipal highway partners to keep those roads open. There is every bit as much of the emergency services equation as an ambulance or fire truck because they can't get anywhere if the roads aren't there. Specifically for that, no, it's just, safe driving and, common sense. I know, like on the interfacility ambulance part, unfortunately, sometimes the ambulance services will have to say, we can't get to that specific hospital, like from here to Erie or Buffalo. We just have to rely on our local hospitals in county for those services until the roads open up. So that's one of the negative things that we sometimes have to deal with.
But I imagine that a lot of your vehicles have, chains and things like that.
Our county fly cars are all 4-wheel drive vehicles. Our ambulances are not at this time. But they are heavier vehicles. They do drive fairly decent. And I know we sent a crew for a trip to Erie this morning, and they took the bigger ambulance because it just drives better in the snow. So just some thought ahead of things like that.
With that being said, some of our departments, if they're in a rural area, have chosen to go to 4-wheel drive ambulances. So departments actually look ahead and realize where they are, what type of environment they're going to be driving in. So not everybody, but some of our local and more rural departments have switched to a pickup truck type chassis for the ambulance just to make sure that they have that extra added protection when they're driving.
What are the next steps of cleanup and all that?
Well, it's just it. We're going to get snow removal as it is. I know, just up the street at the county building, we have several large piles. So as time allows and we're not going to be out, plowing just to keep things clear, I'm sure municipalities start getting some high lift loaders in, getting those snow piles removed. You never know. I mean, we could have snow from now until March and never see grass again. Otherwise, or, we could see temperatures in the 40s in the next week or two and it all melts. And by Christmas time, it's green grass or, whatever is left of the grass. We just don't know in Western New York, but we're prepared. Once the snow removal and keeping up with the plowing is maintained, then we'll start to look to, reduce. And towns and villages have this is their bread and butter. They know that, they put piles in right now, and then as soon as their opportunity rises, they go in. They clear that out with loaders and their vehicles. Some places dispose that heavy snow right back into the whether it's like the Chautauqua River or other areas, or they just pile it up. And I know in my village they have a large pile and it stays there until March when it finally melts over the course of the season. But these crews are so great at what they do, and I can't say enough about it. Whether you work for the cities, the towns, the villages, the counties, they are our first responders. Without them, being a member of the fire service myself, we don't do anything without them. So, they are really our men and women on the frontline workers. That without them, we don't have police, we don't have fire, we don't have EMS. And it's their great job and their great efforts. And, when you talk to somebody and find out that's what they do, give them a pat on the back and really thank them, because without them this weekend, we'd be in a much, much different situation.
Home delivered meal services and things like that, obviously with the travel being a little
Exactly.
bit more treacherous. How are your, aging population and those who rely on home delivered meals, how are they doing?
They're doing well. We always have a plan. As I was talking before the conference started, we have provided all of our home delivered meal clients what we call blizzard boxes, which have shelf-stable food enough for several meals. And even though we weren't able to deliver today, all of our clients have the shelf-stable blizzard box, and we'll be replenishing that with the normal deliveries. So thank you.
Anything else?
Greg Bacon from the Post Journal has a question. He's assuming snowmobiling trails are still closed. Are there any other recreational activities that are taking place? Cross-country skiing, fat biking, etc.
Those are it. I can't address all those. Obviously, the snowmobile trails. I have seen snowmobiles out. People are out in the fields and areas, reminding snowmobilers that the trails are not open. We are still in hunting season here in New York State. So, in this area, this region, so reminding everybody the trails are not open. The other thing we need to keep in mind is the ground is not frozen. So, you may see there's snow, and if you get 5 guys coming through or 5 people on snowmobiles, that snow gets down to nothing, and now you've got mud. As far as, fat tire biking or cross-country skiing, we do have our overland trails that are open. We do have a variety of hiking trails, rails to trails here in Chautauqua County that have been open. We do not close them. We just ask everybody, if you're out, make sure you have a cell phone with you. Make sure you have the proper emergency equipment, if you will. Make sure you have good gloves, good hat, and your cell phone is charged. Again, if you're out there and you have your earbuds in and you're listening to your music, always check your battery, because, you may be doing that and all of a sudden you realize your battery is going dead or you don't have enough to make a phone call. And that's really critical. So we just ask everybody, enjoy the beautiful weather, stay safe, and enjoy yourselves. Any questions? All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, and we'll be in touch again. Thanks.